Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, Lauren Frey, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon, releasing June 10th, 2023. So I was sitting at home thinking for a little bit, thinking about Street Fighter 6 and all the things that irritate me about this release. It's basically Street Fighter 4. Again, same exact game, same exact features, no real radical changes. There's nothing about it. It's the same thing we've seen since like Street Fighter 2. There's no innovations, there's no change, there's no progress, there's nothing, all right? Street Fighter is a stagnant IP only propped up by the FGC and like just YouTube shills, right? Like it's only relevant because of its legacy. Like these games are not fun, they're not innovative, they don't have interesting characters, fun mechanics, interesting innovations. Like they're the same thing over and over and over again. So many better fighting games out there exist. Super Smash Bros, ARMS, like Soul Calibur 2, the Mortal Kombat games, Blaze Blue, right? Dragon Ball Fighters. Like Street Fighter has been passed up a long time ago, and the community just does not want to admit it, right? This was a weird situation, watching this game and seeing people go through the motions of like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, like they do with every single non-Nintendo AAA release, right? They did it with Resident Evil 4 Remake, which was garbage. They did it with Dead Space Remastered, which was garbage. They did it with Hogwarts Legacy, which was garbage. Like there were all of these problems with these releases that nobody talked about or acknowledged. And with Street Fighter 6, I've been talking about the problems. I've been talking about, Capcom's iffy track record in recent years. I've been talking about the worship of Itsuno and Capcom's franchises in general. But I do think I kind of forgot to talk about the elephant in the room. The thing that annoys me the most, and the reason that guarantees that I 100% will not play this release, and that is the fact that it is a game that could easily run on Nintendo Switch and just did not get a release. For whatever reason, Capcom thought that Street Fighter wasn't going to release on Nintendo Switch. Now, never mind that nobody plays the game on Xbox. Never mind that the PlayStation audience is migrating to PC. Never mind the vast overlap between Street Fighter and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, considering Ryu is in the game. Right? Let's just ignore the most popular console on the market. Let's support these irrelevant pieces of trash that the industry is throwing all of its weight behind right now. Let's put this release on Steam. Let's put it on PlayStation. Let's put it on Game Pass. Let's put it on everything except Nintendo hardware, even though it's a basic 2D fighter that the Switch could easily run. Right? I've got on record about this. The Switch could easily run Resident Evil 2 Remake. It could run Resident Evil 4 Remake. It can run Monster Hunter World. It can run Dragon's Dogma 2. It can run basically every game that Capcom has put out in recent years, right? There is no justifying whatsoever a basic 2D fighting game with simplistic visuals could not hack it on Nintendo Switch. I 100% refuse to believe it. Okay, it simply isn't true. You can't look at Tears of the Kingdom, which is the most technically advanced, demanding, intense game on any gaming platform, and then say that the hardware running this, yeah, that couldn't run Street Fighter 6. Are you delusional? Are you insane? Come on, guys. It's gotten old a long time ago, and it's been so long now. We've seen this happen so many times. I think a lot of people are taking it for granted that third parties are refusing to support Nintendo hardware right now, in spite of being the clear market leader. If anything, Street Fighter 6 should have been developed exclusively for Nintendo Switch, right? It should have really taken advantage of the fact that the Switch was portable and the Joy-Con functionality and unique hardware. What exactly do you have to gain by playing the game on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC? Again, the Switch version would have been superior if it had gotten made. But that's the issue here, is that like Capcom is just, and other companies are simply refusing to put out Nintendo games because they know that by default they would be the definitive version of that game, simply because the Switch is the better piece of hardware with a better lineup of software. The only reason that anybody talks about PlayStation or Xbox at all is because of these kind of releases that just skip Nintendo, right? Like every single time, right? It's just completely worthless, just complete garbage. I just got sick of it a long time ago, and I don't care about Street Fighter 6. I'm not going to play it. I could easily play it on my high-end gaming PC. I could get it on Steam. Like, I could get it, like, right now if I wanted to. But I'm not going to. Why? Because I'm not interested. Just like Elden Ring, which also could run on Switch, by the way. Tears of the Kingdom stomps Elden Ring, like, performance-wise, by the way. It looks better, plays better, has way more going on, way more technical combat, way more difficult, way more fun to play, way more side quests, way more variety, way more like location, way more locations, actual mechanics that involve things other than combat. Tears of the Kingdom just stomps Elden Ring in every single way. It's hilarious how people think that game is in any way relevant. Like, it's like 2023 and we still don't have like Dark Souls 2 on Switch. We don't have like any of these games. You are delusional if you think the Switch can't run like games from like a decade ago, right? You are delusional if you think that like Doom Eternal running on Switch is some kind of like black magic. You are delusional if you think Mortal Kombat 1, which is coming to Switch, by the way, is going to be inferior to other versions of the game, right? Like if Mortal Kombat 1, which is the exact same game as Street Fighter 6, if that can come to Switch, no problem. Like, what exactly is the issue? Right? What exactly is the problem with Street Fighter 6 coming out on Nintendo hardware? Why exactly are Capcom and its fanboys making excuses for Capcom's poor decisions? Right? Why exactly do we Nintendo fans have to pick up another piece of hardware just to play some mediocre games in some franchises from some franchises that were relevant back on like the Super Nintendo, right? Like, why exactly should Street Fighter 2, a Nintendo game, be on other platforms? Like, why? Like, why exactly would I ever do? No, like, again, Street Fighter, alongside everything else, Metal Gear, Suikoden, Monster Hunter, Ace Attorney, like, these other versions on other platforms, like, they don't need to exist. Like, just make the default version the Nintendo Switch version. Like, there's no reason to keep doing this. There's no reason to try and prop up these consoles and try and like create this illusion that there's like some competition for Tears of the Kingdom for a Game of the Year, which seems to be like why a lot of these Metacritic scores are like being propped up. There's no way that like Street Fighter 6 is a 92. There's no way that like Hogwarts Legacy is going to compete. There's no way, like absolutely no way that anything coming out this year is going to compete with Tears of the Kingdom. Like, and we're continuing this facade with Street Fighter 6. Like, it's like, why are we doing this like over and over and over again? It was sad a long time ago, and it's only ever getting worse, right? The shills are out in full force. They're trying to tell you this is a great fighting game, but I say ignore this one and wait for the next big Nintendo exclusive thing.